1, 2 and 4. By gee, this horse, Dane Shadow's come on beautifully since the Silver Slipper at his debut. I see more value in him.
3, 2 and 8. The winner, Keeninski, ridden by Alan Peer. Rose Hill, they're about to jump in the Group 2 Todman Stakes, and they're off. They're racing at Rose Hill. We can't bring you live vision from Rose Hill today, as the Sydney Turf Club have not renewed their broadcast rights with Sky. Should you have any further inquiries, we recommend you contact the Sydney Turf Club. We'll take a break and be back in a moment with the result of the Todman Stakes.
Racing, and a nice even line. Immediately Cezanne dropping off in the first 100 metres, and one of the roughies, Zacharada, is just the leader, taken on and headed by Charge Forward. A length away third has come in Spanner, followed by Dane Shadow, and not a single doubt going through. About 4 to Samboy and a length to Cezanne. Settling and going past the 750, and Charge Forward is the leader. Only about a head or so, but quickly Zacharada punches through to shade Charge Forward down to the 650. Not a single doubt third. Dane Shadow on its outside, and then comes Come In Spanner, 3 lengths Samboy, and a half length to Cezanne, past the 600, coming down in the direction of the home bend, and Zacharada at any old odds leads the way. 3/4 Charge Forward, not a single doubt, bailed away at the moment. Dane Shadow on his outside, Come In Spanner, Samboy, and 2 lengths to Cezanne. In the straight, they're approaching the 300, and Beedman let Charge Forward have his head, and Charge Forward did just that. He put 2 lengths, not a single doubt, who's under the whip, followed then by Dane Shadow, Samboy, and Come In Spanner, but Charge Forward's in full flight, and they're not a hope in Hades of getting him. Dane Shadow, Samboy for the Miners, but Charge Forward, brilliant effort to take out the Todman. Dane Shadow second, Samboy third, fourth not a single doubt, followed by Come In Spanner, Cezanne, and Absolute was Zacharada.
2 Charge Forward, 390, 180, 3 Dane Shadow, 210, no third, 4 Samboy.
As far as the Colts and Geldings are concerned, he is the one to beat in the slipper. Of course, we are awaiting with great anticipation number 1, Alingi, in race 2, but this horse is very, very good. Number 2, Charge Forward, written by Darren Beedman. We'll take it out. Second will be Dane Shadow, and third will be Samboy, and they are official. 2, 3, and 4. Charge Forward by Red Ransom from Sydney's Dream, trained by John O'Shea for Peter and Helen Horwitz, B. Kerr, J. Abrahams, Mazes Blizzard and J. Onset. Darren Beedman, and he has beaten convincingly number 3 Dane Shadow by Dane Hill from Slight Chance, John Hawkes, Corey Brown, and number 4 Samboy, who's by Flying Spur from Novinka, Gay Waterhouse, Danny Beasley, and number 1, a most disappointing fourth, not a single doubt. The time for the race was 1:10.30. The race record is 1:09.29.
Coming up in 13 minutes' time, featuring Alingi number 1. She is a rating special from Wager, One World and Crimson Rain, 1, 3, 5 and 4. There's some good fillies in this one, including Alingi, whose win in the Blue Diamond Stakes was extraordinary. It had to be seen to be believed. $1.40 Alingi. The only other one under 10 is the Bruce McLaughlin trained filly Crimson Rain at $7. She dominates the market. Alingi for race 2 Rose Hill coming up in 12 minutes. At Rose Hill for the Riesling. The Todman was taken out by Charge Forward, ridden by Darren Beedman in brilliant fashion. He beat Dane Shadow, Samboy, not a single doubt. Scrambled into 4th placing. So it was 2, 3 and 4 on the Todman. Now there's only 1 or 2 to go in, and they'll be ready for the Riesling Stakes. The last couple are just being pushed into line at the moment at Rose Hill. And there's Bally Blur. Bally Blur's the forgotten horse in the race, isn't she? The winner of the Silver Slipper Stakes 4 weeks ago there at Rose Hill, but she's not wanted today. She's at $18 on the TAB. Wager's gone into line, so I think they're pretty close to a start for the Riesling. They're all set, they're all in the gates and about to jump at Rose Hill. There's a couple of fillies a little bit restless, so they haven't jumped quite just yet, but they're about to. Gates are open and they're off. They're racing at Rose Hill in the Riesling Stakes, and we can't bring you live vision from Rose Hill today. The Sydney Turf Club haven't renewed their broadcast rights with Sky. Should you have any further inquiries, we recommend you contact the Sydney Turf Club. We will have a result of race 2 at Rose Hill.
Gates are back, they're off. Wager jumped very swiftly from a wide alley. Getting out nicely was Crimson Rain. One World in the third berth, then Alingi moving forward, followed by Irish Lou, then Prisoner of Love. Special Impact and Ballyblur whips them in. They travel about 350 and Wager untroubled to lead Crimson Rain by nearly 2 lengths. Similar margin third is the roughy Irish Lou, parked on the inside of Alingi, who settled pretty well, followed by One World, Prisoner of Love, Special Impact, and Ballyblur is absolute. Down the side they sweep, and the order is unchanged. The leader Wager by a length on Crimson Rain, 2.5 Alingi around Irish Lou, and then comes One World, Prisoner of Love over on the inside. Special Impact being passed by Ballyblur. Coming down to the home corner, and the leader is still Wager, 3/4 to a length on Crimson Rain, getting closer with every bound. A couple of lengths to Alingi, called upon now by Oliver, and One World on her outside at the 300 marker. Alingi starting to sprint. The leader Wager, a half length Crimson Rain, and 3/4 Alingi on the outside. She's starting to gather them in Alingi. She goes to Crimson Rain and Wager. Ballyblur from a long way back, but the Victorian filly hits the front Alingi. She's drawing away. Ollie gave her a crack with a whip. She's too good. Alingi from Crimson Rain. I think the outside Ballyblur is nose Wager for third. Prisoner of Love ran a nice race. A long margin, One World, Irish Lou, and Special Impact was tailed right off.
1 Alingi, 160, 104 for Crimson Rain, 140 to Ballyblur at 270.
Protest Brisbane.
Number 1, Alingi, Damien Oliver. Well, the great Encosta de Largo, from Ocean Fast. Lee Friedman, and has won well. He gave her a hard crack about 100 to go to keep her mind on the job, and she didn't show the acceleration that Charge Forward did in the Colts and Geldings division, but nevertheless she really hit the line with authority. And they'll go like the clappers, as we know, in the slipper, and that's going to suit her right down to the ground. She handled this way of going, I thought, very, very well. She seemed to be such a sensible filly. Okay, here are numbers 1, 4, 2 and 3. Number 1, Alingi, Damien Oliver first. Number 4, second, that is Crimson Rain, who's by Red Ransom, trained by Bruce McLaughlin out of Crimson Road, written by Chris Muntz and comprehensively beaten. And Ballyblur got home well for third, a Pient Celeb filly, trained by Anthony Cummings, Glen Boss. And number 3, Wager, showed speed and just knocked up a little to fourth. And Prisoner of Love did best of the others. She got to the line very well indeed. Now, firstly, Totes, the winner off this time. Again, a nice level dispatch. Tycoon, the early leader from Before Too Long, and Star of Gibraltar. Length and a half further back is Chocolate Starfish on the outside of Shags, then Bradshaw, and Naden drops out last at the end of about almost 400. And Before Too Long, keen to run, leads about a neck or so on Star of Gibraltar. The favourite gets a nice tag 2 away third, Tycoon. 2.5 Chocolate Starfish on the outside of Shags, and then comes Bradshaw, and about 2.5 to Naden. Past the 600, no change, and Star of Gibraltar is the leader. Second posse is taken by Before Too Long. Tycoon 2 away third, then Shags, followed closely by Chocolate Starfish, Bradshaw the rails, and Naden's last. Straightening up now. And again, Before Too Long raced to Star of Gibraltar, but Tycoon quickly pouncing upon Before Too Long. A couple of lengths to Shags. Naden starting to warm up, and then Bradshaw. Tycoon dashes clear. Inside the 200, Tycoon put 2 lengths Naden Before Too Long. Bradshaw's getting home well nearer to the inside from Shags. He had a sustained look on the leader, Tycoon, but it's going to blitz them. And to the line goes Tycoon. Most impressive to beat Bradshaw and Naden. Followed home by Shags, and then came Chocolate Starfish Before Too Long. And Absolute was Star of Gibraltar.
And number 6, Tycoon. It'll pay on the tote. Oh, we can't help you with the tote call.
Number 6, Tycoon, ridden by G. Boss. He's a pretty smart horse, and he's won that with authority. Number 6, Tycoon by Anabar from Ty Rises, and has now had the 6 starts for 5 wins. Waiting on the numbers to come up. The time is 1:02.96. 1:02.96. Kamina holds the race record at 1:02.69. The track record is Sharps, 1:02.52. Here we go. 6, 1, 2 and 5. 6, Tycoon, Glen Boss. Number 1 is second, Bradshaw, ridden by Corey Brown for Johnny Hawkes. My last Tycoon, the 8-year-old. And third goes to number 2, Naden, who looked to have his chance of Spectrum Gelding, Leon McDonald, Darren Beedman. And for the pick 4, it was number 5, Shag. 6125, official totes. Number 6, 230 and 150. Number 1, 270. And no third divvy for number 2. Quinella, 6.10, Exacta 9.80, Trifecta 21.30, first 4 69.30. Special div is required on the extra double 2.30.
It's the Group 2 Far Lap Stakes for 3-year-olds. Let's return to Ron Dufficy. He's at the track with the late mail.
Race 4, the Far Lap Stakes here. The numbers are 10, 3, 4 and 7. She's a lovely filly, this. Number 10, Only Words. Very impressive, winning the surround.
She's at 2.80. Here's the market for the Far Lap Stakes. All Gonna Do It for trainer Kevin Moses. 3.60 is the favourite there, ahead of Skittles and Diurnal. Although over 2 Only Words, she'll be short. She's at 2.80. She's the favourite. Only Words for the 4th event. So summing up there with the top 8. Only Words, the filly, is the popular pick and set to run for the Far Lap Stakes at Rose Hill. The lights on and they're about to let them go. They're off. They've just jumped. This afternoon we are keeping you right up to date with all the necessary TAB information for Rose Hill, all the totes and updates, everything you need to put your bets on. We can't show you the races though, as the STC haven't renewed their broadcast rights with Sky. Should you wish to discuss the issue further, we recommend you contact the Sydney Turf Club. I can also point out that Racing Retro will have a comprehensive review of the Rose Hill program on Sky tomorrow morning. That's Racing Retro with the replays tomorrow.
Away they go. Kingside out the back with All Gonna Do It. Terracotta Bay didn't jump quickly, but is threading his way through the field. And Only Words is the early leader from Handsome Ransom. Skittles off the track, and then Niagara Falls, followed by Terracotta Bay. Oxano on the inside of Diurnal. Second last, another 2 away is All Gonna Do It, and a couple to Kingside. At the 1100, and Jimmy Cassidy had been trapped out pretty wide on Skittles, so takes that horse to the front now. A length or so on Handsome Ransom. Only Words drops into a nice posse third. A length and a half further away, Terracotta Bay obliged to race out wide, and then comes Niagara Falls, inclined to over-race a little. Diurnal on the outside of Oxano, followed by All Gonna Do It, who's wide and pulling a bit, and Kingside is last as they work their way down past the 750, and Terracotta Bay, given rein, raced up to Skittles and beat it off 3/4 of a length the margin at the moment. In third position, Handsome Ransom, 2 lengths to Only Words, and then comes Niagara Falls, All Gonna Do It, followed by Diurnal. Over on the inside, next is Oxano, and Absolute in the field is Kingside. They're on the turn for home, and Terracotta Bay again joined by Skittles on the inside. Only Words pulled around them now, 2 lengths into Handsome Ransom, followed by Niagara Falls, but Skittles with a kick and down to the 200 marker. Skittles a length and a half on Only Words, who's grinding away now. Only Words has almost got Skittles, and then Kingside from the tail, but Only Words hits the front and looks to be home and hosed, and is 4 out of 5 for her. Only Words has beaten Kingside, and third to Skittles. He didn't see the 1500, followed by Niagara Falls, All Gonna Do It, and then Terracotta Bay, Diurnal, Handsome Ransom, and Absolute was Oxano.
10 Only Words, 260, 135 Kingside at 390, and 4 Skittles, 160.
Didn't let them down. She's a very, very nice filly. Number 10, Only Words, trained by Johnny Hawkes for the Canning Down Stud Syndicate, managed by J.M. Barnes and Mrs. J. E. Mackay. In sweep from What Can I Say? So she's certainly very well bred, eh? And Rodney Quinn aboard. He's been on her for the 4 wins, and he rides her perfectly. So that's 2 Group 2s to her now in successive starts. The Surround at Warwick Farm, and now the Prolock Far Lap Stakes. Here are the numbers: 10, 5, 4 and 11. Only Words, Rod Quinn first. Number 5's run a big race coming from the back of the field. Kingside, a colt by Karpstad. Bard Cummings, Glenn Boss, and the third went to number 4, Skittles. He didn't run the 1500. He did a good job, really. He was wide early, and I suppose Jim Cassidy had no other alternative than to take him to the lead. Otherwise, he's going to be pratted very, very wide there on in. So, under the circumstances and being a doubted 1500, he's done reasonably well. The Quest for Fame gelding, Timmy Martin, and number 10 ran 4th, and that was Niagara Falls. And the totes read this way.
A little bit now that I think Ronnie's come on and told us that the horse is Black Figures on track. So punters are backing Mummify, Mackay Diva, and even Sound Action, who's sweating up a bit on course, according to Ron. And they haven't moved in yet, but we're 2 minutes from start time. Cheltenham's due in 12 minutes, just about ready to run. They're all set for the Randwick Stakes. Just pointing out that on Racing Retro tomorrow, they'll replay all the Sydney races racing at Rose Hill. They've just jumped in the Randwick Stakes. They're off and running. So all 8 events from Rose Hill, and Dominic Byrne is the special guest on Retro. He'll have his ratings for the Golden Slipper. That's at 9:30 tomorrow morning Eastern Summer Time. Don't miss it. We'll take a short break and be right back with the result of the Randwick Stake.
They're racing, and they'll come into our view right now. Mummify is the early leader from Ambulance. Mackay Diva third, followed by Sound Action. Then Terrific Taurus, lashed near the inside and wider out as Strange Conflict. They race along to the 1700, and Mummify shows the way. Mackay Diva in second posse, and Boss continually peeping over the right side. Third posse, two away, the favourite Ambulance, followed by Sound Action, and then Lash, Strange Conflict, and last of all is Terrific Taurus. Swinging into the back, going up to the 1500, and Mummify left alone in front and leads by a couple of lengths on Mackay Diva, a similar margin. Third is Ambulance, followed by Strange Conflict. By the 1300, a length and a half to Sound Action. Second last is Terrific Taurus, and the New Zealand mare Lashed is last. Down the back in the Randwick and going along to the 1200, there's no change in the order, and Nikolic has a good grip on Mummify, and the Victorian is a length and a half on Mackay Diva. Third posse is taken by Strange Conflict, followed closely on its inside by the baby in the field Ambulance, and then Sound Action parked inside of Terrific Taurus, and a length and 3/4 to Lashed. Nothing's taking on Mummify at this stage, and as they sweep out of the back straight and come along to the 800 marker, it's Mummify the leader, but here goes J.A. Cassidy on Strange Conflict, and Strange Conflict in a lightning raid goes up to take the lead narrowly from Mummify. Mackay Diva tracks them a length and a half, third, and a couple to Ambulance, who's close enough if good enough. Then Sound Action improving her posse, followed by Terrific Taurus hard at it, and Lash being desperately ridden as they come to the corner. 450 to go. The race is on, and it's Mummify leading out and kick clear. A length and a half on Strange Conflict, Mackay Diva, and now the 3-year-old called upon Ambulance, and Sound Action is coming down the outside. Big finish coming up maybe at the 200. Mummify from Ambulance, Sound Action, and Mackay Diva, but Sound Action, the mare from Colac in Victoria, and Wayne Hawkeye aboard, put pay to them, and Sound Action wins it. Very close for second and third, nothing between Ambulance and Mackay Diva. From Mummify, then came Lashed, long margin off two Terrific Taurus, and Strange Conflict was last.
6 Sound Action, 770 and 340. 7 Ambulance, 140, or 4 Mackay Diva, $3.
Yeah, a terrific thrill for Roberta and Wayne, with the Vittori mare Sound Action taking out the Randwick Stakes. Number 6. Be close for second, nothing between Ambulance and Mackay Diva. Could go either way for second. The judge is looking at his finish links. He can't pick it off the initial first sighting. Sound Action clocking up 2 minutes 03.22. The record is 2:00.24. Got a good run in front, Mummify, for Danny Nikolic, until Jimmy went up on Strange Conflict, and then the race really started to rev up, but just waiting his time, biding on Sound Action. Wayne let her rip in the straight down to the 300, and wide out on the Rosehill Gardens turf, she gobbled them up and raced on to win it well. 6 is first, and the judge cannot split second and third at this stage between Mackay Diva, Ambulance, and Mackay Diva. Sound Action, 13 starts, 8 wins, a second and a third. And
Special, Private Steer, Ain't Seen Nothing, and Inner Bound, that's 2, 1, 4 and 13. And here's the market. We've got Private Steer coming up at 3.10 with the big weight and the wide gate, but she's still favourite. Vocabulary at 5.40, a rating special. And the other one that's given a mention there is Inner Bound at 9.20. The Coolmore Classic from Rosehill. Here's Starthy Katsitas now. The only Group 1 race for fillies and mares in Australia. Big field, and they're about to jump away. Private Steer's the favourite, and they've jumped. They are racing in Sydney, and should you have any further inquiries about the races, we recommend you contact the Sydney Turf Club. We'll have a result for you as soon as they hit the line.
Racing in the Classic at a nice level dispatch. Galapagos Girl and Faith Hill jump quickly. Shower of Roses and Shamika handy. Victory Vane and Polar Success not far away. Then Forum Floozy. Boss Pratted very wide on Private Steer, so he's got to go forward. Xana is midfield, and then Vocabulary a length and a half further back is Hinting, followed by Lucida. Inner Bound, Ike's Dream. Over on the rails next in the run, Ain't Seen Nothing at Absolute, Mrs. Tendulkar. They race to the 1,000 marker, and the leader is now Shower of Roses from Shamika. Galapagos Girl is third. Private Steer is running fourth from Victory Vane, then Forum Floozy deep. Faith Hill in the middle, followed by Polar Success, and then Xana hinting wide out. A length and a half further away, Vocabulary. Lucida in a bound is trapped out wide from Ike's Dream. Over on the inside, next is Ain't Seen Nothing, and 2.5 to Mrs. Tendulkar. They're coming down to the 600 in the Coolmore Classic, and Shower of Roses. 3/4 of a length on a stablemate Shamika. 2 Private Steer, Galapagos Girl. Forum Floozy out off the track. A length and a half to Victory Vane, and then Faith Hill and hinting. And well back is Vocabulary, and in a bound to the extreme outside, straightening up, and Shamika shot clear. And at the 300 marker now, Shamika from Shower of Roses. Vocabulary's gone up on the inside. Private Steer goes after Shamika, then Forum Floozy, Galapagos Girl and Xana. It's Shamika in front, 100 to go. Private Steer is battling on tenaciously, but Shamika in front of Private Steer, and Shamika wins the Classic from Private Steer. Forum Floozy close up in a photo with, on the inside, Lucida. Shower of Roses not far away with Xana, and then came at the head of the others 2 lengths further back in a bound, followed home then by Forum Floozy pulling up quickly with Hinting, Ike's Dream, and then Mrs. Tendulkar, Galapagos Girl, Polar Success, Faith Hill and Victory Vane.
10 Shamika, $21 and $6.70. 1 Private Steer, $1.90. A photo third.
Official placings in the Coolmore Classic. Shamika has done it for Gay and Jimmy Cassidy. Owners His Excellency Nasser Abdullah Hussain Luta, and trained by Gay by Secret Savings, and out of the Don't Say Halo mare, Lifetime Story. And here are the numbers coming up, and they read 10, 1, 7 and 6. Number 10, Shamika, Jimmy Cassidy first. Number 1 is second, Private Steer, Glenn Boss for John O'Shea, a mare by Dane Hill Dancer. Number 7, Forum Floozy third, a mare by Dana Singer, John Hawkes, Rod Quinn. And number 6 ran fourth, and that was Xana, a mare by Pentire, John Hawkes. 10, 1, 7 and 6 after the Classic, run in 1 minute 20.39. 34.55 was the sectional time. That overall time of, oh, hang on, we'll have to check that time. Can't be, no, that time is wrong on the infield board. So delete that. They've got a problem with their timer, so we'll delete that information and pass on the tote information firstly.
So Ron looking for a bit of value in the Canterbury Stakes, which carries just under 150,000 in prize money. Peteza at the moment, it's in a couple of points, so Ronnie might have already unleashed there. It's into $10 on race 7. Eagle Rose Hill, he's about to move into the barrier now, and he's tumbling in all the time now to $2.30 ahead of Yell. Grand Army is also into $7.90 ahead of True Globe and Sportsman. Okay, they're ready to go. In fact, they've just jumped in the Canterbury Stakes at Rose Hill. Now let's look ahead to Cheltenham, race 7 in...
And off they go. On a high immediately goes out the back. Yell, one of the early leaders, taken on by Sportsman. Century Kid third, and Grand Army, no luck in the early stages. Then True Glow, followed by Thorn Park. Then the Grey Stowaway, On a High, and 2 lengths Peteza. Yell in front as they go down to the first corner, sighted at the 1,000 markers. And at this point, it's got to be Yell a length and a half. Second, Sportsman. Century Kid running the third. True Glow fourth. Over on the inside, and then comes Grand Army, Stowaway, On a High, Thorn Park wide out. 2 lengths Peteza going past the 800 marker, and Yell shows out nearly 2 lengths now on Sportsman. At his quarters on the outside and getting a little closer now, Century Kid to move up into almost second posse at the 600. True Glow inside, Grand Army. Thorn Park's been wide from the word go from On a High, and then Stowaway and Absolute as Peteza as they wheel for home now. And here Beatman lets Yell have his head, and Yell booted about 2 Century Kid as these jockeys are starting to race a little wider on the home turf, and down past the 300 marker, Yell 2 lengths clear. Here's Grand Army pegging him back. Thorn Park wider out. True Glow, then Century Kid. Thorn Park struggles. Yell still the leader. Grand Army is not picking him up quickly enough at the moment, and Yell, ridden for dear life by Darren, will win it. Yell has beaten Grand Army, and True Glow followed by Century Kid, and then came Peteza. Followed further back in the field by On a High, and then Stowaway, Thorn Park has run second last. He was very wide all the way, and Sportsman knocked up to finish Absolute.
2 Yell, 5 Even, 150. 1 Grand Army, 230. 7 True Glow, 230.
Number 2 Yell for Darren Beedman and Johnny Hawkes. That was the Yell that we came to know in the autumn. And the Anabar gelding holding on too well. Number 1 has run second, Grand Army, ridden by Danny Beasley. And 7 True Glow third, Damien Oliver. Number 4 fourth, and that was Century Kid. Well, Thorn Park was wide from start to finish. And he weakened very, very badly over the concluding stages. He's becoming a horse that has become a little bit costly, hasn't he? I mean, whether, and it's all hypothetical, had he had a better run today, would he have figured in the finish? It's highly unlikely. 2, 1, 7 and 4. Yell, start number 22, win number 9. He's a very talented sprinter. And the first prize today of 91,000 takes his overall earnings to about 1.41. So he's certainly been a great money spinner for his owners, the Woodland Stud Syndicate, and he's by Anabar out of Vocalist, bred by, well, they had the mare, the Inghams. 2, 1, 7 and 4, and here are the tapes.
The program, and Moa Man out to 720. Farwaz at 990. Striking Victory is into 680. Derby Parade at 850. And the favourite is Hassel at $2.70. So pretty firm in the last for Corey Brown, number 11 Hassel, who is trained by John Hawkes. That race in about 90 seconds from Rose Hill. We've got correct weight coming available because the Sydney Turf Club has not renewed its broadcast rights with Sky Channel. And the last event about to be run and won. There's only 2 to go in. Number 6 Derby Parade is about to move in, and we're also waiting on Bulla Borghese, who is proving just a little bit troublesome at the moment. Don't forget, you can catch all the Sydney races on Racing Retro tomorrow morning with the team from 9:30, including the big ones, the Coolmore Classic, and a pretty exciting finish. You can catch all the action on Racing Retro tomorrow here on Sky. Now there's still one out there. In fact, no, they're all in and they're away, so they're off and racing.
Away they go. And one of the best out was Derby Parade. Moa Man hopped away nicely, so did Striking Victory. And then Daniels the Man, Bulla Borghese, followed by Romeo George, and then Lyman Hall. Far wasn't a gap to Race's Success. Then the favourite Hassel. County Tyrone pretty wide out. Uali next to last, and Brave Players last. At the end of 350, and Moa Man leads clearly over Derby Parade. Striking Victory in the centre. Third, Daniels the Man, the railed. And wider out next is Bulla Borghese, about a length and a half, then to Lyman Hall wide. In the centre is Race's Success, Romeo George on the rail, then Far Was, and 2 lengths to Hassel. County Tyrone a fraction wide, followed by Uali and a couple to Brave Player. Along the back of the track they travel down to the 1200 marker, and Moa Man is the leader. He's keen to run. He's a length and a half on Striking Victory. Third on the inside is Derby Parade. Then Bulla Borghese, 2.5 lengths further away in the field is Daniels the Man, Lyman Hall. And then comes Race's Success, 1.5 then to Far Was, followed by Romeo George on the rail. A gap of a length and a half then to County Tyrone Uali. Hassels back to second last. At Absolute as they come along the side is Brave Player. 700 ahead of them here, and there's little or no change in the order. Moa Man from Striking Victory. And then comes Derby Parade, Bulla Borghese, Lyman Hall, and then Daniels the Man, followed by Race's Success. A length further back is Far Was being called upon, but he's desperately under pressure here. Wider out County Tyrone Uali, and then comes Romeo George, who's dropped back. Hassel's got one behind it. That's Brave Player. Into the straight, Moa Man. He's been the leader from almost the time they hopped out of the stalls. He's taken on by Striking Victory. Derby Parade sticking on nicely, then Daniels the Man, and a couple further back.